What's up guys, War History Geek here, and welcome back to a new acquisitions video. Today we're going to be taking a look at items that I picked up towards the end of my last semester, so that would be approximately March through May of 2024, and let's just get right into it. So the first item, unfortunately, I can't put on the screen. It's a uniform, however, it's quite a special uniform. This is a uniform that belonged to somebody who worked on the Manhattan Project. It's a bucket list item I've had for a long time, especially since Oppenheimer came out, and now I finally have one. I got a very fair price on it, found it on Facebook Marketplace. And what's awesome is you can see in the pictures here that I have the name and serial number, so I can actually research him. A little bit of research has told me that he was from the Chicago area when he enlisted, and he was a draftsman, which a lot of these people were recruited based off their civilian occupations, so that makes total sense. And I believe he worked at one of the two locations in relation to the Manhattan Project in the Chicago area. So, of course, that's going to get its own video once more research is done, but I just wanted to show that off here. So, the next collection of items I got is a grouping that belonged to a man who served on the USS Tennessee battleship. And again, not a lot of research has been done yet, and of course this will get its own video in the future as well, so I'll show you some pictures here as I'm flipping through it. I don't really want to get it all out right now, but really interesting grouping. He served from the 1940s all the way up through the 1960s, late 60s, so really interesting grouping showing the total history of the U.S. Navy, or at least a really important history of the U.S. Navy, and really interesting documents all connected to him. So again, I don't want to go too much into detail on it. You're going to see more of that in the future. But anyway, moving on to the next grouping, we have Warren Hicks. And this was an interesting grouping because I picked this up on Facebook Marketplace and it was totally destroyed. And you can see pictures of what it looked like. Unfortunately, the seller had listed it on eBay, and the original frame that she got out of a storage unit had two fire badges in it, and she had torn those out and was selling them separately and then sold the shadow box. And she never listed it as having the badges originally, but she also didn't list it like having the badges now. So she didn't say that she was selling it with the badges, but she also never clarified that she took anything out. So the seller that purchased it was very upset and stole a bunch of items out of it. She wanted to get it gone, and she was tired of messing with it, so she sold it to me on Marketplace for $30, and I thought all I was buying was this shadow box. And it's not great here, so I'll probably put up some pictures. But you can see it has some good stuff left in here. But also, I've replaced a lot of it. He was a lieutenant colonel in the medical corps, and he managed a couple hundred different medical facilities in Europe at the time. And what's really great about this grouping is that, fortunately, the stuff that was stolen, the only thing that's really hard to replace is he was a lieutenant colonel, and it's missing that palm. However, I still have a lot of the other stuff, and I was able to replace this ribbon up here, the European campaign ribbon with 4 campaign stars, as well as the rifle qualification badge, and a couple of other small things in here. I was also able to purchase one of the badges before she sold it. However, the other one is unfortunately gone, and I'll never be able to replace it. Included in the collection that she just threw in because I drove an hour to pick it up was she threw in his binoculars from the 1950s. So nothing super interesting, but, you know, a cool pair of binoculars that I got for pretty cheap. As well as his entire leather folder of paperwork and documentation, which literally hundreds of documents that I now have in a binder, and you'll see a video, of course, of me flipping through it. But basically, any document I could ever want on him as an individual or the unit he served in, I now have. And then she also threw in this box here. And inside the box, there's his War Department officer's identification card. And the unfortunate thing about it is that, unfortunately, the photo got all torn up. So I'm hoping I can take it to a conservator and see if they can fix that up for me, but that's just the condition I have to deal with right now. Unfortunately, he would have been an amazing picture to have. And then I also have some other information here, a photograph that's not him, I'm not sure who that is, and then a Red Cross flag that he had, and I'm not sure what it was used for, but it was a rather small Red Cross flag. And again, I'll put up a picture of that unfolded, maybe. But anyway, so that's for the Hicks grouping. And I don't want to go too much into detail because you'll see more of it later in its own video. But that's that. Now, also in person, I received a very generous gift from a friend of mine at college. And he said his grandfather brought it home from World War II, and the family has no serious connection to it. They didn't know what to do with it, so he just gifted it to me. And here you can see we have a Japanese medal here, and it's actually in the incorrect box, and it's missing the ring hanger that attaches the medal to the ribbon. However, we do know that this is an original medal, and it's beautiful. It's in perfect condition. It's unfortunately not worth a whole lot because it's in the condition that it's in. However, it's a beautiful medal. I'm very, very thankful that he gifted this to me, and I'm going to give it a great place to display in the collection. And I'm going to do more research. Unfortunately, I'm not super well versed in Japanese medals, so I'll put up what the medal is called here. But, like I said, absolutely beautiful award there. And then the last little collection of items I got here was a couple of little pins here from an antique store, as well as a pretty fun badge here. Looks like something that somebody made as a joke, and probably, I'm guessing, the 50s or 60s. We also have a little driver qualification badge here, so that'll go to good use trying to complete a grouping at some point. A rifle hanger. A portrait photo of a soldier from Ashland, Ohio. A couple of other little knickknacks here. And I'm also an Eagle Scout, so whenever I come across Boy Scout stuff, I purchase it. This is a little photograph of an Eagle Scout from probably the 60s or 70s. And then lastly here, we have this German calendar from 1872. And we have the 1886 Ohio State Almanac book. So overall, just a very quick video. I wanted to keep it nice and short. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to stay tuned for the next videos and see many more videos coming in the future. Make sure to always, of course, hit that like button, and when you're in that area, hit that subscription button and maybe that notification bell. And make sure to leave any thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.